whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past. So I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Pleasing comes from scarcity and fear, self-loathing and insecurity. If they don't like me, then I'm not enough. Well, you know, any great genius, the great women and men of the world stood alone even if they were an army of one. If you look at the great producers of the planet, they were ridiculed before they were revered. You can change the world or you can be liked by everyone. You don't get to do both.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe.
People wonder, well, what's the meaning of life? Like, what's it all about? What justifies the suffering and the misery and all of that? It's like, well, that's what justifies it. It's like you put yourself up against that. You think, okay, with all of this pushing against me, how much can I push back? Could I move the horror an inch back with all the strength that I have at my disposal? Man, and the answer to that is, yeah, you can. It makes you better with regards to yourself, but it also makes the world a better place.
So when it comes to your life, when are you going to stop saying easier is said than done and start saying no matter how impossible it may seem, no matter how many people doubt me, no matter how many failures I run into on this journey of success, I'm going to get it done. That's the mindset that you have to have. Stop thinking about all the reasons why you can't do it and find the one reason why you can, why you have to, why you should. Start taking responsibility over your life. What would your life look like if you took full responsibility over your life? And you have a choice in this life. You can make moves or you can make excuses.
And if you're not careful, you will allow situations in this life to cloud your perspective. And you will allow moments in this life to take away the hopes and the dreams of tomorrow. Failure, it's not final, it's formative, it's part of the journey. How are you gonna learn if you don't ever fail? No, failure is fuel for your future.
No matter how many people have hurt you, right, the pain might not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. The setback might not be your fault, but the comeback is your responsibility. What happened to you happened to you. It doesn't have to be your whole story. You're literally a choice away from a new beginning. A choice, that's it. And a commitment away from a new life. Accept and change. Accept what's happened and then change your life from it.
What idea are you sitting on? Write your ideas down. And then, once you get that idea, take the lead. Take the lead. See, a lot of people get the ideas and just walk around with it. Take the lead. See, it's out here in the universe. If you don't take the plunge, I guarantee you, somebody else will. Take the plunge. Go into action. And ladies and gentlemen, you will be surprised at how things will come together.
When you're in a adult, you have to parent yourself. Here's the rub. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself.
I believe you're happiest not when you're watching TV. You're not happiest when you're playing with your apps. You're not happiest when you're looking for likes. You're not happiest when you're fooling around. You're happiest when you're growing.
You're not your past. You don't have to be your past. You're not the mistakes that you made. Just because you made mistakes doesn't mean you are one. But you have to make that choice to own it.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they say it's not seen? Because your imagination, you are the only one who can see it. So you know what that means? All that stuff you've ever imagined, it's just been God showing you a preview of a coming attraction He has for you. The problem with your imagination is you tell it to the wrong people.
Confidence is arrogance under control. But this is what you should be careful of. Don't you ever cross that line into arrogance. Because arrogant people stop growing, arrogant people stop developing, because arrogant people think they have arrived. Be as confident as you can be without crossing the line into arrogance.
You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy.
Staying loyal to what you said you were gonna do long after the mood you set in has left you. That's commitment. So when it's inconvenient to do so, are you still gonna do so? When it gets real, are you still gonna stay loyal to what you said you were gonna do?
Yeah, I go here. Go to that dark place. I call it the dark room. Where you're alone. No cell phones, no music, no TVs, no computers. You by yourself. Very few people want to be alone anymore. They want to be around noise and people, and you can't think. Shut life off for a little bit. Go to a dark place in your mind and figure out what the you want to be. You don't know what you want to be because you haven't spent real time with yourself. Spend time with yourself. And once you find that passion and that purpose, your goals, your purpose, everything will just start lining up.
But is a dream killer. That a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at but. But is an argument for our limitations. And when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them.
What if the truth is that changing your life is one away? One decision, one meeting, one conversation, one extra phone call, one extra rep in the gym. You start stacking up those one mores. That's the separator. In life, we don't get our goals. We get our standards.
Your biggest enemy is you. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you.
I need you to confront you because you're the one holding you up. I need you to confront you. I need you to look in the mirror and tell you, you are not gonna do me like this no more.
You need an antidote to suffering, and it has to be deep. And no, deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing. But that's better than happiness. And maybe if you're lucky, while you're pursuing that and while you're immersed in it, you get to be happy, and you should fall on your knees and be grateful for that when it happens. You know, it's a gift. It really is a gift. But you aim to climb uphill to the highest peak you can possibly envision. And that's better than happiness.
See, but will cause you to procrastinate, but will cause you to hide out behind fear, but will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction and not acting on your dream.
And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of. And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second, I go through all that. I know how it's gonna feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt.
There's a power to one more. When you start stacking up those one mores, not only have you put more contacts out into the universe, but you start believing, I'm doing something most people aren't willing to do. I'm fixing to get something most people aren't gonna get.
The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better. Free. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way.
A good human being, a fulfilled human being, doesn't need to break anyone down. All they do is want to build you up. So anybody you meet that calls you out of your name, that bullies you, that messes you up, that makes you feel not lifted, they are dealing with something deep-rooted.
There's a beautiful piece of Zen wisdom that's been shared for thousands of years. And what it says to us is this, that we don't realize that half the time, the thing that's weighing us down, the thing that's holding us back is what we're holding on to. What part of your mindset are you going to leave behind today? What part of it are you going to say, you know, I might need to leave that behind. I might need to let go of that. That doesn't serve me anymore.
Yo, we all are great. We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself?
Welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Even the bad experiences. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. So let down the barriers, take down the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you.
There is no easy way. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution. The core principle that overcomes laziness and lethargy and excuses. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow.
Every challenge that you are facing, it belongs to your journey. It is part of your journey.
This is intimate.
I was told that the biggest problem, Tyler, you're going to have this afternoon is getting Tony Robbins to come out of his shell. Okay, so don't be shy here today. It's all going to be good. We were talking backstage, and you teed up a question.
And I love thinking about that when I'm thinking about big life decisions. Like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And it's usually like the big one, the bigger thing that I really want to do, but I'm afraid to do it. It's like, that's what I should do.
Man would not be man if his dreams did not exceed his grasp.
How committed are you to really do something about your life? It's not knowledge which is the problem. It's not inspiration which is the problem. The problem is that after you have all this information, how are you going to transform it? How are you going to integrate it into your 24-hour day?
If you haven't gotten what you want, then you're not worthy of it, period. And that's okay. Now you can admit that you suck and improve. Better to know you're bad for a season than pretend you're good for a lifetime. Because you're not as good as you think you are. You're not struggling from imposter syndrome. You're a student and pretending to be a teacher.
Understand what the struggle produces. So when you attack something, you realize when you're going through your hardest times and you tell yourself, wait a minute, I have to go through this because it's a part of the process.
You have to do it, and you have to do it now. So stop thinking about it, stop dreaming about it, stop researching every aspect of it, and start doing it. That is the first step to make it happen. Get after it, and get after it here and now.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown.
That version of yourself that lives inside of your heart that nobody else even knows about because you're too afraid to talk about it, because you're afraid everybody's going to laugh at you. That's the thing you're supposed to become. Whatever that is, that's what you're supposed to become. You need to listen to that. If you're going to step out from what you have always been into something new, you have to be prepared to cut all of the old out, because all of the old will constantly be in your ear chirping, making you doubt, making you question, making you slow down, making you hesitate. And all of those qualities will keep you from becoming that thing that you're trying to become.
Talked a little bit about purpose. A lot of that is just working hard to try to be who you say you are. We all project ourselves a certain way, but when rubber hits the road and you look at yourself in the mirror, who are you? And are you living the life that you're telling people you're living?
You gotta be willing to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. You gotta be willing to be scared. You gotta be willing to go into the rooms that people don't wanna go into. And you gotta be willing to deal with the word no for a period of time, because the yeses will come. Make you hold you accountable.
I think it's just giving yourself permission to suck. It's giving yourself permission to be unhappy. It's giving yourself permission to not achieve while you do for a long period of time. It's giving yourself permission to lose friends. It's giving yourself permission to do things that's different than people in your social circle or your age group are doing. Giving yourself permission to be an exception so that you can become exceptional.
If you don't put it into an action plan, get going, that's the key. Some people are ever learning, but they don't put it into action. They don't really take the action. It's like the man who keeps bringing materials to the building site and never builds anything. He keeps bringing in the sand and the gravel and the windows and the doors, and he just stacks up all these supplies, but he never builds anything. You've got to do something with what you've learned. You've got to take action. You've got to get going.
And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up.
Old saying that there's 3 types of people on a ladder. One at the bottom, one at the middle, and one at the top. Which one is the best to be? The one that's still climbing.
Talking about your goals, and talking about your ambitions, and you're talking about your dreams, talking about anything. Overthinking is the enemy of executing. As far as I'm concerned, the best way of actually making progress towards them is cutting it down to a day-by-day scale and ensuring that every day your goal is to simply take another step toward it.
Go out there and build something, do something. Do something. So at the end of the day, when they close the book on your story, your chapter has meant something.
Almost all the meaning that you will need to get you through the hard times of your life is going to be a consequence of adopting responsibility, not of rights and impulsive action. But that isn't where you're going to find the meaning that keeps you sustained through the storms of life.
I'm astounded by how many people want to be spectacular in life but also want to be normal. By being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Exceptional people get exceptional results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and expect to not get what everyone else has got. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now. Empty the cup. Start from the beginning.
Do you run away from something? Do you run towards something? Failure is an impelling protagonist towards achieving your goals. Choose failure. Be scared. Be very scared of failure, and you will succeed. There is no magic pill.
One day, or day one. You keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind if you've been slacking on some kind of something that you want to start doing. And that you know is going to be good for you if you do start.
In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful dreamer.
If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. You've got to understand that you've already got it. Use your imagination, see yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. You've got to see yourself now already with it. And know it's only a period of time until you moving toward it and it moving toward you, and you become one with it.
Someone will save you, but it's you. Future you, the better you. The person that you've been waiting to become.
And you make up your mind to be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. All you have to do is make a decision. And you just got to have a clear intent on what you want. And so learn, study, and then begin to dream or begin to build a model of what it could look like, and don't let go of it. And begin to experience the emotions of how you feel when it happens.
The heart of confidence is action. It's the willingness to try. And all you need is to know that if you try, you're not going to die. You're just going to learn something. And when you learn something, it removes a little bit of the insecurity so that it makes it slightly easier to try again.
Projecting yourself forward to see what are the consequences of failing, what are the consequences of stopping, is about as powerful of a motivation strategy as I can think of, you know? Because what you're doing is you're trying to optimize right now to stop the discomfort, but what you're going to pay for that in is shame, and guilt and regret long term. So what you need to be able to do is bundle all of that up that is as yet unfelt, but will last for way, way, way longer. You know, the future is much longer than now.
That's right.
The future is going to extend out up until the day that you die, and the now is just for now. And you get to look back, and do you look back with pride and glory, or do you look back with shame and guilt?
When you don't feel like doing something, like, you do it anyway. You do it because you have to, and you have to do it for your future self. You know, you have to look back, you have to look at yourself in 5, 6, 7 years and be the person that you would want to look back and be proud of, because now what you're doing your future self a favor.
This isn't a game. This is your life. Wake up. It's time to make your life into a highlight reel. You're the main character, not anybody else. Stop thinking this world is against you. You're in control. You get to choose what happens next. The wait is over, because the time is now.
You go higher, you go even more alone. Why? Because nobody is willing anymore to invest their energy in going higher, because it's becoming more difficult. They say, oh, it's already okay here. Why you still want to move up there? The air is getting thinner over there. So that means along this way, the higher you want to go, the more likely you're gonna walk alone. This is the next thing.
You have no fucking idea how great you really are, because you are using such minimal of what you have. Everybody has the ability to do it, but they just don't want to. There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. The problem is you, and you don't want to fix it.
The hardships, the losses, they make the good times way better.
First of all, everybody, you're never starting over. You're always starting from experience. This is so important for you to understand. Just because you got laid off, just because you've ended a relationship, you're not starting from scratch. You have all the experiences, good and bad, in your life that you can now use to reinvent and reimagine what the next chapter of your life looks like next.
What are you gonna do? How bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being?
Delusion is only delusional when you don't accomplish the goal of making your delusion the reality.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers see icy streets. Winners put on their ice skates. Losers take chances. Winners make choices. It's all in the way you choose to think.
You might be frustrated, you might be spinning your wheels, you might be ready to quit. But you also might be one day from that one moment.
Every morning, every day of our lives, we have choices to make. You have the choice to stay in bed, to say, forget it, I'm not gonna work out today, or forget it, I'm not gonna work hard today. You always have a choice every single day of your life.
The universe rewards resilience, and the signs of it are all over the world. You just have to know where to look and what to look at. Become that river on that rock. Over time, you can achieve any goal if you stick with it.
Man, you gotta learn how to dig deep in your life. Things are gonna happen in your life. Parents dying, animal dies, a lover, a wife, a good friend. You decide when you don't want to fail anymore. You wake up one morning and go, you know what? These are all things I cannot control.
Doubt is such a strange thing. I mean, it's, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is, right? If you win, great. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway.
You're not going to get around the rise and fall and the rise and fall. Endure when it's time to endure, enjoy when it's time to enjoy, you know, but you're not going to get around the ups and downs of that. It's not because I'm weak. It's not any of that. It's like, that's what life is.
And if you stop right now, all you've done is guarantee that you never reach that moment. When things get hard, it's very easy to question what you're doing. It's very easy to start looking for a new path. It's very easy to quit. And that's why most people do it. No matter how much you're struggling, no matter how long you've been working, keep going.